Next week you fight heavyweight title,
Yeah, heavyweight championship.
heavyweight championship, former light heavyweight champion. You lost the last fight at light heavyweight. How's the difference been to heavyweight? Do you bulk up, or how's the weight change happen?
Yeah, I've been jumping around. I was a 2 division champion for a while. Had the 205-pound championship in the heavyweight, and ended up losing light heavyweight. But I still fought down there a little bit. I feel a lot better at heavyweight. I rock around about 235, and so that weight cut down to light heavyweight was pretty rough. And so to walk into a fight week, to go through a whole camp, getting the food and fuel I need to get through camp. Fight week is I'm not worried about cutting, 20, 25 pounds of water that week. I can enjoy myself, feel good, and walk into that fight, top notch and not depleting myself.
You feel more comfortable at heavyweight now in this point of your career?
Yeah, like I said, I'm bigger now than I was, 5 years ago, 2 years ago, for that matter. And so for me, not, I always put in the back of my mind, oh, the weight cuts are fine, this and that, but it's still a lot of weight. 30, 35 pounds is a lot of weight to cut, through a camp and the week of. So walking out there, I feel good. I'm energized. I'm not depleted at all. I've done very, very well at heavyweight in my career, and undefeated at heavyweight. And so I'm excited to get back. It's been a little bit.
All right, so next week, Moldavsky, right? Russian.
Moldavsky, yeah.
Tell me something about Moldavsky that, going into the fight that you're anticipating for.
Yeah, he's undefeated in Bellator. Fought some good guys. He's just all around. He's good at everything. There's not one area where I'm like, oh, he's phenomenal at. But he's good all the way around, and that's what wins fights. So got a tough test at hand. He has an interim belt, and so we're unifying this championship and looking to go out there and get my hand raised and unify that belt.
All right, so this week, before your fight, the UFC is having their heavyweight championship.
Yeah.
Francis Ngannou, Cyril Gane. How do you see that fight going? Any predictions for that fight, or what are you looking for as a heavyweight?
Yeah, man, that's a tough fight to call. Cyril is, I think he's more technical. He's a better fighter, but Francis has that one punch knockout power, that haven't seen in a long time. He's been laying people out. And so I think if Gane can, play on the outside and use his technique and use that distance really well, I think he wins that fight. But Francis has that, that it power where at any time he can put you away. And we've seen it done before, so it's one of those fights where you're like, that's why people tune in, right? You're like, this other guy is probably the better technical fighter, more tools, but this guy knocks people out, and heavyweights are always fun to watch because that can happen at any moment.
I mean, being a fellow heavyweight, who would you rather face if you were to face either one of those two?
Man, probably Cyril, it's Francis is a scary dude, and he hits you. The thing about Francis is he can be losing that fight, and if he lands one good punch, the night's over. I feel like with Gane or Gone, however you pronounce his name, that I can go out there and use my wrestling and all that, kind of nullify it a little bit. But yeah, Francis is a scary dude. I think anybody that gets in there, that's in the back of your mind that this guy's going to come out trying to take my head off.
All right, so one interesting thing about this fight is Francis Ngannou is going through his contract negotiations with the UFC. You kind of had a similar situation where you ended up leaving even when you were a contender. It was kind of surprising at the time. And so maybe a handful of UFC fighters have left like that. Seeing it unfold, what's kind of your perspective? What do you see when you're seeing this from the outside?
Yeah, I think Francis is in a good position. There's not a lot of fighters that fight out their contract and they're the champion, or have the ability to be the champion at the end of the contract, So he's betting on himself for sure. I'm sure he could have done UFC likes to re-sign you with one fight left, so you're never out of contract, and so he probably could have got a pretty good deal, before this fight going forward and pay-per-view points and all that kind of stuff. But, he's rolling the dice, betting on himself and thinking that he's going to win this fight and then be in an even better, position to go in there and get a huge contract, And so, I like that move. It's one of those things where, if you want to get the money you think you deserve, you got to hold all the cards, all the chips. And, he will at the end, if he's out of contract and he is the heavyweight champion.
All right. Talking about other heavyweights, Fedor, you beat Fedor, I think it was a couple years ago. He wants his retirement fight with you, I guess in Russia or wherever. What's this? I mean, of course you have to beat Moldavsky, but where's your position on that?
Yeah, I'm down to do it. It's kind of it's a no-win situation for me, because I go in there and beat him again. Okay, I already beat him. I was supposed to beat him. I don't think I can really beat him in more spectacular fashion than in 35 seconds, knocking him out and winning a heavyweight championship, but it's one of those things. It's a big fight. It's, anytime Fedor fights is a big fight, and it would be his last fight ever. So there'd be a lot of eyeballs and stuff like that. So I'm not thrilled about, having it in Russia and all that kind of stuff, but, maybe Bellator and we can come to some sort of agreement where it benefits me too, and then definitely, I'm definitely interested in that fight for sure.
Fedor's talking about retirement. You're 38. I know you probably haven't thought about it, but is it creeping in the back of your mind, or do you still feel good? Where's that situation for you?
Yeah, I know it's going to be there kind of, a couple of years down the road a little bit, but I still feel good. It's one of those things for me. If I just feel like if people start talking about retirement, thinking about retirement, you're kind of half in already. And in this sport, you can't be half in and half out, and so for me, it's all been about, if I can't train the way I need to train to be successful in that cage and have a good mindset when I walk in, knowing I've done everything possible to be prepared for that fight, win or lose. If I can't do that, that's the day I need to start thinking about, all right, what am I doing? What am I trying to get out of this by, not giving it my all because maybe I can't because the injury is getting, whatever it is. But as of now, I feel great. I feel better than I have when I was 25 years old. So it's just one of those things for me. It's not going to be like, oh, I have 2 more fights and then I'm done. It's kind of going to be one of those things where I'm like, look, I think that was it kind of deal, but it's not even in my mind right now.
All right. So next week, Bellator, you against Moldavsky. Tell me about you're working with Killcliff. Tell me a little bit about your work with Killcliff.
Yeah, Killcliff, they have clean energy. They have CBD drinks, and they started to build this fight team. And it's one of the better fight teams out there. They have Israel Adesanya, Robbie Lawler, Gilbert Burns, myself, a bunch more guys, and we got hooked up with them, and they're just they're not only a great company but great individuals in that company. And they give back. They've given over $1 million to Navy SEAL Foundation, and that just kind of aligns with us and kind of what we want to do too. I'm not looking for one-time sponsorships. I'm looking to build relationships and all that with these companies, and they've been awesome. Got to do cool stuff with them and with the military and all that kind of stuff. So definitely happy to be part of the team and represent Killcliff.
All right, you against Moldavsky, I think it was January 28th.
January 29th, yeah.
29th?
Yep, showtime.
Awesome. Good luck, and thanks for your time.
I appreciate it, brother. Thank you.
Awesome.